Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly agriculture networking events of Empower Africa. This is our first weekly agriculture networking event. I'm excited and honored to be here and greet everyone. My name is Shai Bernstein. I'm VP of Biz Development and Partnerships in Empower Africa. And we're going to have one of these events every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be hearing from global thought leaders and networking with members of the agriculture ecosystem around the world. More information on that in a minute. Before I present our distinguished guest for this week, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, just a quick brief on Empower Africa. Empower Africa is a business community with a mission to drive investment, trade, and job creation in Africa. We believe in trade over aid and that business is the best way to build things and make a difference. We have three verticals of the company. The first is the Empower Africa Business Network. The second are events like this, and of course, face-to-face events once COVID permits, and consulting and project facilitation. We believe in bringing good people together. We believe in the power of synergy. Our business community is an invite-only and paid membership. We want to make sure that all the people that are part of our community are honest people who can add tremendous value to each other. I'd like to share with you a 40-second video that explains a little bit more about our platform and specifically sponsorship opportunities, and then we will move on to see the guests. So just one moment. Okay, so really to sum it up at Empower Africa, our goal is to create connections, optimize communication, and maximize the collaboration that can be done. The business community that I'm referring to in terms of the agriculture ecosystem is really bringing together all of the different players and entities across the value chain of the ag ecosystem. So that would be SMEs and entrepreneurs, investors, banks, PEs, VCs, DFIs, family offices, the farmers, export, import, distribution, food processing, of course, governments, multinational enterprises, and much more. Speaking of bringing good people together, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome and invite His Excellency, Ambassador Reta Alemu, who is the Ethiopian ambassador in Israel. Please, Ambassador Reta Alemu, come share with us.
Thank you very much, Shai. Thank you for inviting me, and it's an honor and pleasure for me to join this distinguished members of the panel, and it's a weekly meeting. Agriculture is an important economic sector in Ethiopia. Currently, the share of agriculture to our gross domestic product is over 35%, and it continues to have significant contribution to the export and job creation and livelihood as a whole in our economic system. Agriculture accounts for 70% of employment in Ethiopia, and modernizing the agricultural sector remains to be one of the top priorities of our government. The government has focused on accelerating growth in production and traditional crops. We have done what we have to do by promoting the adoption of improved technological activities for smallholder farmers and increasing investment in rural infrastructure, particularly for irrigation, improved watershed management, and improved seedlings. It has also been emphasized that the need for ensuring food security across all sectors in Ethiopia, the society has been of significant importance. Ethiopian agricultural extension programs are key to the success of the development projects in the sector. Increasing production and productivity has been given prime attention at all levels. Spreading and scaling up modern agricultural inputs and knowledge and skills to enhance agricultural production of smallholder farmers have been an important part of the agricultural development program by and large. Agriculture as a priority sector for employment, it is also a priority for foreign direct investment in Ethiopia. As Ethiopia is blessed with large tracts of arable land and suitable resources for irrigation. Investment opportunities are vast, including the provision of advanced farming technologies and investment in agricultural sector, such as wheat production, cotton production, and production of oilseeds. The total land area coverage is about 111.5 million hectares, of which 74.3 million hectares is suitable for agriculture. The 18 major agroecological zones have been identified in the country at large, and over 3 million hectares of land has been made available for investment. Ethiopia offers one of the largest and most diverse agricultural investment opportunities by and large. And at the continent level, Ethiopia provides more suitable and favorable agricultural investment conditions. Israeli investment can be also seen as one of the top priorities from the investors list in the agricultural sector. Many Israelis have invested in the agriculture, such as sugarcane, horticulture, floriculture, and including fiber crops, cotton, and animal husbandry. Furthermore, the geographical proximity between Ethiopia and Israel offers an added opportunity to encourage investment in the sector. When we refer to the geographic proximity, that provides major exporters in the world unparalleled access in the Ethiopian floriculture market, with daily flights of the Ethiopian Airlines before COVID, but even after COVID, we're flying five days a week. The proximity of two countries should be taken as an opportunity to be exploited to enhance investment in the sector. Also, I would like to mention another related sector for Israeli investment in connection to agriculture is agro-processing. Ethiopia has plentiful agricultural resources, including, as I said earlier, the cattle production, the beef in the dairy, and also fattening of cattle, croplands, and forests, which is suitable climate, and the labor force also is of critical input in the agro-processing industries in Ethiopia. When we have, Ethiopia has recently launched agro-processing industrial zones in some areas. Out of the 17 industrial zones, there are 5 mainly focused on agro-processing plants. Ethiopia also produces the best coffee in the world, and it's known also for having the wider generic variety of coffee than any other coffee producing country in the world. Ethiopian coffee is well known for its special aroma and flavor, the uniqueness that makes it preferable to blend with coffee from other places. We have organic coffee, and since we are the origin of coffee, we believe that there is a huge potential for coffee production in Ethiopia. Currently, Ethiopia is among the top 5 coffee producers in the world. Israeli investors can import directly from Ethiopian coffee, and also Israeli investors can also invest in modern coffee agricultural farms. With our historical relations and the people-to-people ties, I see that we have a huge opportunity to attract many Israeli investors to engage in different agricultural activities. I can say with the potential that we have, especially in terms of livestock, Ethiopia offers a huge potential. Ethiopia has over 60 million cattle herds, especially cows, and it is a sector which would be also more attractive for investors to engage. The size of livestock population, the natural endowment for the favorable climate conditions for improved high-yielding animal breeds provides Ethiopia with significant potential to further develop the dairy sector. In a nutshell, agro-processing sectors and also the livestock production, poultry, and other also areas in agriculture and investment, and market-friendly and highly competitive fields for the Israeli business community to engage. So I say, with rapid population growth, increased demand for more food, and unflattering history of food self-insufficiency, and also, the lack of full-fledged ecosystems, increasing global energy demand, and also the challenges that we face from climate change. East African nations are challenged to work with their partners to fast-track and uptake innovation and technological advancement to also ensure that the uncertainties for the next generation in agricultural production could be alleviated. In the coming 30 years, we must be prepared to feed 2.2 billion mouths in Africa alone, and create jobs for better livelihood for 60% of the youth in the African countries. Today, the multifaceted agricultural sector and fast-growing population calls for close partnership among countries and institutions. Globalization presents many challenges, such as the challenge that we see in many parts of Africa that results in conflicts. The broader agricultural challenge our nation faces, as indicated in many of the studies, is somewhat similar to requiring comprehensive actions by all. So there are systemic issues that could be addressed by a collaborative approach. The advantage that you have in Israel, especially in terms of technological advancement, would be also an important element in the investment sector in this area. Whenever you think of investment in agriculture in Ethiopia, you have to see the impact that you will be able to make. the impacts that you will be able to create in changing the lives of millions of people. A country which is endowed with, quite variety of natural resources, has a huge potential. When we speak of Ethiopia, we need to think of and see the opportunities in Ethiopia. And as I currently say, Ethiopia is a big country, big in terms of its population size, the second most populous in Africa, big in terms of land size, and big in terms of its economic size. So let me conclude by saying the government has so far, created favorable conditions for investment, especially in the agricultural sector. We have created, operationalized over 20 state-of-the-art industrial parks, which are located along key development corridors in the country, each with distinct specialty in priority sectors. 5 of these parks, as I indicated earlier, are dedicated to agro-processing. So we have huge potential for investment in the agricultural sector. In the past 2 years, many Israeli investors have expressed their interest in investing in agricultural sectors. Some of them have already started their operation. Some are in the process. Big producers include productions in wheat and also production of cotton. Without going into much details, I just would like to express the commitment of my government to support and create an investment-friendly business environment, including by offering incentives for investors. I would like to express my appreciation for Empower Africa. It's been a pleasure to work together, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak for this audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your insights and a lot of that amazing information about Ethiopia. If I could just ask to please put on mute. There you go. Thank you. So before we continue, guys, all the way to the continuing the networking session, it really is staggering when you look at the numbers of Ethiopia. You look at the population, look at the potential that the country has to offer. And on that end, before we move on to the networking session, I wanted to just show a very, very fascinating video. It's 3 minute long, about 15 reasons to invest in Ethiopia. So I'll just share that right here, and then we'll go back to the networking session.
A unique country, modest with its exquisite terrain, pristine lakes and falls, as humble as any place where a heroic soul belongs, steeped in ancient history and known proudly as the cradle of humankind, the coffee capital of the world. Ethiopia is gloriously flourishing, peaking in momentum towards economic, political, and social transformation and looking forward to a prosperous future. Ethiopia, a new horizon of hope. The country is moving with speed, breaking walls of division and building new bridges of unity. It is one of the few countries in Africa where women take half of the cabinet seat. Ethiopia has a first female head of state and a female president of the judiciary, and has made significant transformation leaps in foreign policy. Building on the sweeping political reforms that he unleashed, Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed announced that the partial privatization of state-owned enterprises in energy, telecom, logistics, and aviation sectors represents the fundamental opening of the Ethiopian economy. Ethiopia is leading a new frontier of effective regional integration of the entire continent. The economy has enjoyed double-digit growth over the past decade, asserting itself as one of the world's fastest-growing economies. As the second-largest recipient of foreign direct investment in Africa, Ethiopia has attracted many global brands, highlighting the competitive investment opportunity that it yields. With a crystal vision for 2025, Ethiopia aims to be the leading manufacturing hub in Africa and a preferred destination for foreign direct investment. So why invest? We are a young and productive age group that accounts for 60% of the population of 105 million people, trainable and available at competitive wages. With duty-free and quota-free access to major export destinations, including US and EU markets, a signatory to the African Continental Free Trade Area that unlocks the market potential of 1.2 billion. We are strategically located with proximity to the Middle East, Europe, US, and Asia, offering a wide-ranging incentive package for priority sectors and export-oriented investments. The newly built Addis-Djibouti electric-powered railway connects the capital and other economic corridors to the port of Djibouti. Africa's world-class and Star Alliance member, Ethiopian Airlines, flying to over 100 international destinations and 40-plus dedicated cargo destinations. There is huge investment potential in renewable energy, including hydro, wind, and geothermal. We now have expansive road networks connecting national and regional markets and state-of-the-art industrial parks, both public and privately owned, offering impressive benefits. Ethiopia's policy reforms spearheads industrialization through investment in these sectors: textile and apparel, leather and leather products, agro-processing, horticulture, pharmaceuticals, ICT and electronics, tourism, and energy. As the land of origin rises, with courage and honor, it calls on the world to come and seize the vast investment opportunities. Ethiopia is now open for business.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much. And everybody is welcome to go back to some more networking.